Not Everything's Gonna Last by Sean Anderson. Disclaimer. Before you read this, I would just like to let you know this is a very personal piece of writing for me. It hurt to write a few of these, but some of these were very fun to write. All the events that happened in this story are as true as I can remember them to be. I hope you read this and not feel sorry for me or look at me any differently, but I hope you look at me and see how far I've came. This does get very deep at some points, and some of these writings have made people tear up that got to read them beforehand. I appreciate all of the support everyone has given me thus far before even reading or listening to anything. You make me want to keep doing this stuff. I have a passion for writing, and all of the support you guys give me makes me want to keep going, so thank you. Thank you for being a part of this dream of mine. Commentary. Chapter 1 focuses on the dark and sad stuff. None of these writings are in a particular order or anything, but they do get pretty deep. There are no dates or anything correlated with a certain writing, they all just kind of happen at random times throughout the writing process. This is the stuff that I warned you about in the disclaimer. I've been secretly battling depression my whole life, and my thoughts got the best of me in this chapter. I find this chapter to be very deep and powerful. All I ask is when you read this to understand that this is real life. These are real feelings and thoughts that I had written down. It is essentially a compilation of all of my depressed writings. Chapter 2 focuses on my friends and good times that I've made with them. I tell the story of how me and some people came to be friends. In a sense, these were the best times with the best of friends. And appreciation for a few others. I know there are more people that needed recognition, and you guys know exactly who you are, and I do too. I'm sorry I didn't make the time to add you. Chapter 3 are letters to my past, present, and future person. It describes all of my feelings towards each person. I feel like what was said in this chapter is stuff that needed to be said because it gave me a sense of clarity. It was something that I wanted to see put on paper. It was a realization phase for me, and it helped me see things from a whole different perspective, and that meant a whole lot when writing this story. Chapter 4 describes how I felt after I finished the book, and it was essentially an update on how I am doing. Prologue. First off, I would like to thank you for wanting to read this. It means more to me than you think. I'm writing this because it is a passion of mine. Even though this can be really deep and sad at some moments, I want you to know that this book is not meant to make any money. But due to lack of funds to make hard copies, I might charge a few dollars for online copies. This book is meant to tell you a story, my story so to say, the good, the bad, the ugly, 100% real life, 100% me. The story was based off my worst days. Days where I had let my thoughts get the best of me. In this story, I wrote down all of my thoughts on paper, things that needed to be said, things that really just got to me. I hope to achieve a sense of clarity from the story, not just for myself, but I wish you get to see the clarity when you read this as well. Because I wanted to write this for you, the reader, because in the end, you never know what someone is going through, and as much as I hate to say it, I was not in a good state of mind when I wrote this. I hope you read this and realize that you're not alone, that everyday people like you and me are struggling to stay afloat. We all have something to regret, and we all have demons that we may not like to talk about. I still have things that haunt me to this day, and I wish they would go away, but they won't, and really that's okay. They're a part of me that makes me, me. Even though I was not the best child and I had a rough past, God always came through for me. Every time I needed help, He guided me, and that's all I could really ask for. As much as this story was hard to write, I would just like to say that even with all the sad stuff that was written, I have battled through the rough patches, and I am getting better every day with my depression. This was a rough patch in my life when Chapter 1 came around, and I really wish you read it and appreciate it, because you're not alone in any of your battles. Again, I thank each and every one of you who took the time to read this. I poured every ounce of my heart into this, and this is just a taste test into my writing potential. I've never written anything like this before, so thanks. I appreciate all the support. You keep me motivated. It makes me smile knowing how many people can't wait to read my stuff when they have no idea what it's about. And I think that in itself is extremely cool. Chapter 1. The Dark Side of My Mind. Who am I? I often question myself. I ask myself, who am I? And this is the only thing I could think of. Hi, my name is Sean Anderson. I'm 6'2" and I weigh 320 pounds. I live with my sister and her family. I enjoy playing my guitars, my ukulele. I enjoy writing music and stories. I have some great friends and family. I work full time and go to the community college in Susanville. Now, all that stuff you probably already knew about me. But this story is telling you the stuff you probably didn't know. The rough childhood, the tough summer, all of it. This story was my whole heart put out for people to read. This was an emotional roller coaster. The past year was rough for me, and this writing came from my whole mind and heart. All of my past experiences helped shape me into what this is. How will you remember me? How will I remember you? Who am I, and who are you? I am a human being with feelings and a past that haunts me. You are a human being with feelings and a story to tell. We all have a story to tell. How will you present yours? Mine will be presented here in this book. You're going to have to take another look, because my name is Sean Anderson. Welcome to my life. I'm not the person everyone seems to think they know. Only a few people actually know about some of the stuff that I have mentioned in this book. People say I'm such a nice guy but fail to realize that I'm not. I'm not the person you think I am, and I've hurt more people than I'd like to admit, and my own damn mom is on that list. I am a bully. I'm such an awful person at times. I've done a lot of growing up and changing, and I would like to use this book to say I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for all the bullshit I've put you through, every single one of you. You know who you are. I know who you are, and if you read this and accepted my apology, you've been hurt by me at some point. I'm legitimately sorry for everything. But, anyway, some of you may have been here before, but for those who are new, buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Just happy. These days I'm struggling to find the strength within myself to stay afloat. I feel like a sinking ship and it's just not falling all the way down. Like there's a blockade underneath the ship, so to say, so it's halfway floating and halfway sinking, if that makes any sense. Lately I've been so down on myself as well as criticizing myself way too hard. I've just been down in general. I just can't find the happy Sean I once was. I sit at home and my thoughts consume me. I get really lonely, which is weird for me because I should be used to it by now. I've been alone my whole life, it seems. But this time it's different. I'm losing sense of myself. I used to smile all the time, be happy, but it's gone all of a sudden. I can't seem to reach out and try and get it back. I'm so lonely that I don't really feel like I know how to talk to people anymore. I distance myself from everyone because I don't really like to interact anymore. I get so caught up in life that everything seems kind of like a blur. But I have the same schedule. I get up, I go to school, I go to work, I come home, do homework, write some thoughts down, shower, go to bed, and repeat. I'm so alone that on my days off I just sit in my room and write my feelings down instead of going out to socialize. It seems like no matter what I do, I can't fucking fix myself to try and get back to where I was. And nothing really happened. There was no breakup or anything to blame as an excuse this time. I'm just not happy anymore. I'm losing people left and right, and on top of that I'm losing myself. I don't need to be perfect, just happy. And that seems like the tallest fucking task in the world, let me tell you. I feel like I have the weight of the world on my shoulders constantly, and I can't elevate some of the pressure. Everyone thinks they know me. Oh, he's a fat kid who likes to party. Yeah, but what they don't know is what goes on during the after party. My head is as fucked as it will ever be, and I can't even say hi to people in grocery stores anymore without them asking me if I'm okay. I'm not okay. So to answer your question, no, I am not okay. I overthink way too much. I'm depressed 24/7. I don't enjoy feeling this way. Trust me, I would change it if I could. Everyone can see the sadness in my face, my friends, family, coworkers, everyone notices. But only a few have said anything about it. I've realized that people can say that they are your friends, but as soon as shit hits the fan, they don't want to be by your side anymore. And that in itself can make you feel like nothing. I sometimes wonder if people realize that 90% of my smiles are fake. I've seen some shit in my life that I hate to mention. That is probably what shaped me into who I am. But for how happy I once was, no one would have ever thought that I went through the shit that I went through. I want to find peace with myself and not feel so empty anymore. I'm just tired of the same shit over and over. So maybe John was right. Maybe I do need a new town where no one knows my name. I don't know myself, so there's no way you know me. I don't need to be perfect. I just want to be happy. I wasn't the one. Never. I was never the guy that girls went crazy over. I was never the guy that wowed anybody with charming good looks or a nice smile. And when it came down to it, no one ever stuck around to see what I could bring to the table. They just left without warning, or I did before I got too attached, because I was too scared to commit. Now maybe that is the reason no one stayed. Maybe no one really knew me, and when they found out, it scared them because they didn't want to help me. Maybe it was my bipolar tendencies and not having the medication to fix them. I'm nowhere near perfect, but who really is? I try my best to stay positive no matter what the situation is, but sometimes life gets to you and you just can't keep faith. My whole life I felt like I wasn't the one, not just in relationships and friendships, but in general. My dad never cared about me when I was little, and he's the reason why I have trust issues and I tend to have major mood swings. I can't understand why someone could break a mere child down to the point where they think suicide is the only way out. And as a parent, if you made your kid feel that way, how should that make you feel? The saddest part is that all this was a lie. He tried, he made an attempt, but he wasn't allowed to see me. I was lied to for years and built up a hatred for him because of it. It's still no excuse, though. If he cared that much, he wouldn't have ever gotten kicked out in the first place. I couldn't live in a world where I hurt my kids so much they felt like offing themselves was the only way out. I can't tell you how proud I am of myself for staying here and fighting. When I turned 13, my mom chose alcohol over me. I'll tell you again, I wasn't the one. Now both my parents have proven to me that they don't want me. And as a teenager, my dad tried to come back and he promised me the world, but he couldn't even afford a gallon of gas for his beat-up old Honda. He tried. Reason number one why I have trust issues. I was promised a good life from the beginning, and sometimes it just doesn't happen the way you want it to, and you gotta live with it. The drugs and alcohol tore my family apart, and I suffered the most from it. They made me feel so bad and like everything was my fault, and as a small child, can you imagine how that feels? It was awful. Growing up, I didn't have much friends, and that never really changed as I grew older. I was never accepted by any of the sports teams I played on or by any of the cool kids. And I say that doesn't hurt me, but it does. I've never been the one, and it shows. I wasn't the one. Due to all these past events that destroyed my heart, my mindset, my ego, and pretty much every piece of my mental that you could, I felt defeated. One certain relationship went south and I was devastated. I thought that I had found the one, but she didn't feel the same about me. I wasn't the one. I spent a summer getting over the fact that she left, and my loneliness and sorrows came in the form of a strong whiskey and coke. Every night, it seemed. My friends that actually gave a shit about me were actually worried about me, and for the first time in my life I felt like there was someone there for me that cared. And really, that's all that mattered to me. I wanted to be wanted, and this past summer was not healthy, and my friends cared enough about me to make sure that I was okay and I wasn't going to die. And at one point, I thought I was, and so did they. I covered up my sadness by drinking too much. Now all this is happening, I felt like my life was spiraling out of control. And I was becoming everything I promised myself I wasn't going to be. And next to breaking a promise to someone else, I think breaking a promise to yourself hurts worse. I tend to do that a lot. I didn't ask for the hand I was dealt with, but I dealt with it anyway. I stayed and fought to become who I am today. I may not be the one in some eyes, but in mine, I am worth every single breath that I can take. I'm sorry. I'd like to start off by saying thank you. Thank you for being a part of my life chapter that gets to read or listen to my work. Thank you for caring. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry I'm such a boring person. I hate that I can't make anyone smile or laugh without having some alcohol in me. Alcohol makes the pain numb. I'm sorry that I lost all my confidence to keep a conversation going with anyone because I'm scared of rejection. So I just don't talk. I'm sorry my past is so hard to talk about. I'm sorry that I distance myself from people because all I have ever known is how to be alone. I'm sorry I'm so bipolar. You don't deserve it. I'm sorry I let the little things get to me. I'm sorry I'm not the person I once was. I've done a lot of growing up and changing. I'm sorry my past still haunts me, and I know I said that already, but fuck it. I'm sorry I'm not the happy Sean. Everyone knew. He's gone and it might take him a while to come back. I'm sorry that I'm always down in the dumps. Certain circumstances have me feeling low. Please don't take it personal. I'm sorry that I have to explain myself and the way that I feel, but when you're always alone and you don't really have anyone to talk to, how else are you supposed to vent? Writing is therapy for me. I'm sorry whenever I hang out I just think of sad things and I get angry all the time. I'm sorry that all the pain I have bottled up inside I take out on certain people. They don't deserve to fight my battles for me. I'm sorry my head's always a mess. I'm sorry if you never want to see me again. Because I understand. No one likes the person who is sad and just doesn't want to do things. So go out and have fun. Without me. I might go away for a while, so I might as well let you know that life goes on either way. So you just gotta let it go. And by go away, I don't mean I'll leave this earth. I mean my distance is growing further. I feel like the best way to cope with this moment in time is to not get close to anyone, because it ends up hurting me in the end anyway. I'm sorry I got flaws. We all do. You have to realize that there are reasons people act a certain way, and I normally keep to myself. But I never got to feel love growing up, and I was promised so much, and even his I love yous were fucking lies. When the fuck did he ever care? I'm 19 years old, and I'm making a better living than him. This is one reason why I have really bad trust issues. Most everyone left. This is the real reason I'm so distant. My whole life I've been told, I'll be there. And the people who say that the most ended up leaving and never coming back. I have a hard time letting people in because of something so stupid. So when you realize that I'm not really okay, and you actually take a trip through with my fucked up mind, I think you'll think of me different. And you'll do one of two things. You'll stay and keep helping me write this chapter, or you can leave just like the rest of them. You can be just another page to burn. It's really your choice, because I'm really done trying to please people. I'm sorry I can't be everything you hope for. Some of us are just not happy with the way things are right now. We hope you can understand that this is a process we have to get dealt with in due time. Everyone noticed. I couldn't help but feel sorry for myself. I was crippled physically and mentally. When I got the news that my foot was broken, I was devastated, because at this time I was a two-sport athlete with dreams of playing at the next level. This was the first sign of me losing myself. That was the spring of my sophomore year of high school. Ever since that moment, it was downhill from there. I gained a ton of weight and I couldn't be physically active anymore. I had some friends whose names I will not say introduce me to some things that didn't make it any better. Let's just say that they were bad things and they made me not myself. Those things alter my perception of certain things going on in the world that I lived in at the time. I wasn't myself, and everyone noticed. One thing that upset me the most about this time in my life is that while everyone noticed I was going through a downhill spiral, not one single person said anything to try and help. Everyone noticed, but didn't say anything about it. No one said anything until it was too late, and looking back on it, I regret everything. I try to live my life with no regrets, but this hole I dug myself into was way too deep, and I felt myself sinking deeper and deeper. This time period in my life is one of the only things that I have legit regrets about. I was not myself, and if you knew me during that time and you know what I'm talking about, you agree. My closest friends told me something was up, but not until I was too far gone. That summer I gained so much weight and did horrible things to my liver, and everyone that had to see me go through that, I am truly sorry. You had to witness me at my lowest low. And for those of you reading this that didn't see me, be thankful that you didn't. I wasn't the happy-go-lucky Sean that everyone knew and loved. 3 months of killing my liver and hating myself had came and passed, and I had came to my senses. I realized my lifestyle choices were not working out for me, and I made a change. I quit the hard shit, I cleaned up my act, I got a new job that took all of my time up. I still went out on occasion, but school and work took up all my time. It was really a sense of clarity for me. to clean up. I knew God was watching over me and he didn't like what he was seeing. So he helped me change for the better. And as much as I hated that time in my life, I felt like it was a blessing in disguise. One major letdown caused one major comeback, and I truly believe I'm headed down the right path in my life right now. I'll get by. I'll get by in due time. I'll get by, but it'll take time. Because in reality, time is all we need. The time it takes to feed our hearts, our desires, our passion, our fire. Make way for what transpires, because in time, it will be all you want it to be. Relationship and family woes. It seems these days my relationship status has not changed in a very long time. It seems like every time I have something decent going for me, I have to fuck it up or she just leaves without saying a word. I feel like giving up most days, and I pray that one day something great will just happen for me. But I also have a feeling that that will never happen. I have the worst luck, and I'm worried that I will never find anyone to share this journey of life with. Mind you, this was written when I was 18, but I'm 19 now. I have plenty of life to live. But this is being written in the last summer of my childhood. I'm spending my last summer of my childhood being an adult, working 40 hours a week and paying bills. I just want someone to come home to after a long day of work when it was hell. I'm looked past a majority of girls, and I know mainly because I'm heavier. I have a wild sense of humor, drive a bitchin' truck, great with kids, and I would actually give a shit about you. But in today's society, guys like me are overlooked because we're not what society tells girls are okay. It's scientifically proven that girls like assholes. But that's just not how I was raised. It's also proven that guys like me are harder to find. We're less likely to abandon our kids or get divorced, but that's none of my business. I come from a very strange family. My mom had 3 kids with a man that was different from my father, and I was the only child that my mom and dad had. I don't talk to my dad's side of the family. My mom was a very hardworking woman who taught us that to get the things we want in our lives, we gotta work hard to achieve it. Being the youngest and the only boy, I was a spoiled little brat until shit got rough. When I was about 11, I had to start learning how to fend for myself. In 7th and 8th grade, I was pretty much homeless and I would bounce from house to house most nights. And I would have to ask around for food because my mom and her boyfriend were too drunk most nights to care for me. What this has to do with relationships is kind of simple. My mom divorced my sister's father and never got far with my dad as he was forced to leave us when I was very young. Anyway, I saw what that stuff does to relationships and the kids, and that's something I can never ever do to my kids or my wife. I was 18 when I wrote this, but I'm 19 now. I know what I want in my life, and at this moment in time, I just want someone who won't just up and leave and not tell me why. High school was some of the best years, but for many reasons, dating wasn't one of them. I have no really good experiences when it comes to that, so I hope this summer brings me a lot of sunshine and greater experiences. Another lonely night. It's nights like these where I get caught up in my feelings when I'm listening to sad music trying to find the comfiest spot on my bed. When I look upon it, it really is a perfect time to write. It is just me, myself, and my thoughts. Tonight is a little bit different than most, though. It's summertime again. You can hear all the crickets chirping outside my window. That noise replaces the music tonight. I had a hard time trying to figure out which song to listen to, so I just shut it off. My mood tonight has been a mixture between happy and sad. I had a fairly good day, which I haven't been able to say proudly lately. But as I get alone, my thoughts corrupt my brain. And one of my main thoughts I had today was the saddest part is no one would care if anything happened to me. And now I have 2 counterclaims to my own thought. 1, some people could really care less about you and it wouldn't make a difference if I left. And then 2, Sean, do you remember when you got in your car accident? Do you remember how many people checked on you to see if you're okay? And to that I say bullshit. People only care about you when you're in danger or dying, and I'm in danger every day with my mind. No one cares to check on me. People need to realize that physical danger isn't the only danger that matters. Psychological danger is just as bad. I spent some time realizing how important it is that I have a job because it keeps me civil. It keeps me away from the depths of my head. Mainly because when I'm at work, my head is spinning in 20 different directions. If I didn't have a job, I would probably go insane from boredom. When I have free time, I sit in my room and do absolutely nothing. Summer is going in a hurry, and I have no one to spend my days off with. All my friends are working, and girls aren't even a part of this picture. I wish, but my luck just isn't going for me. I sit and think why I've never chosen, but in reality, there's plenty of girls out there who want me. As much as I deny it, I push people away, so I sit here and write. On a breezy Sunday evening, it is another lonely night in the head of the one they call Sean Anderson. I didn't know. Looking back on everything, I was always clueless. I never knew what was going on. No one ever told me the plans or anything, and when it came to anything in life, I was honestly confused with it all. When it came to girls, I didn't know what to say or do, so they left, or I did. Looking back, I don't really even remember it all too well. I haven't had much luck in that aspect of it as it is, and that is probably why I was clueless on what to say. Talking was never my strong suit. Even now, it still isn't unless I have some beer in me. I never knew when the right time to say something or act on a moment. I'm definitely not confident whatsoever, but it's getting better. Finally took me 18 years, but I can finally go swimming with my shirt off. And it may not sound like much to you, but it's a huge step in boosting my self-confidence. Being happy in my own body is a huge step in the right direction. When I was younger, I didn't know that not getting up and going to school would affect my mom more than it would me. I didn't know that I was a little asshole. I didn't know all the trouble I was causing, but I made an effort to stop it. I got out. I knew on top of all the bad stuff that was going on, I needed to get out, so I did, and I called for help. I was able to get out, and I think that upset my mom more than anything. But when she made the executive decision to choose her addiction over me, she made me lose all sense of hope that we would ever have a good relationship again. Fast forward 5, 6 years, and our relationship is not where I would like it to be. And it really is my fault. I work so much that it's hard to find time for anyone else. I like being by myself. I like being able to relax. It makes me forget about the people close to me. And I really need to make sure that I find time to rekindle certain relationships. I didn't know that for many years my father got kicked out of the house and wasn't allowed to see me or talk to me when I was growing up. According to him, he tried, but I didn't know the truth. Up until I was about 12, 13, I'd only seen him once since I was real little. I had no idea that is where I came from. I never got to talk to him or hang out with him. I don't know much about him. That is one relationship I wish I could make better before I leave this planet. I don't like knowing that it has to be this way. Having a family that is completely torn apart is really rough, and if you are fortunate enough to have both of your parents in your life, please don't take it for granted. This has caused me so much unnecessary pain in my life, and the saddest part is more people are in my situation than are living as a happy family. So many people are struggling in their own words, and it's upsetting. I didn't know so many people felt just like I do. Damn. Slow down. I can't seem to find a purpose in my life right now. I don't have a clue of what I want to do in my life. But who does at 19 years old? I feel in my heart that I want to move out, get my own place, and live freely, but my mind says I shouldn't do that. I want to be out on my own, but I'm just not sure if I'm ready. I'm struggling so hard with money right now, I just don't know if that's the thing I should do. I'm lost and confused, and I need a sense of reason. Reason to keep going on this path I'm stumbling down. In May of 2017, I got in my first accident. One that really didn't do any damage to me or the other driver, but it damaged my heart. My truck is my baby, and to see it smashed the way it was killed me. But that's not really the story I'm trying to tell here. I truly believe that was a sign from God telling me to slow down. Let's see the events that led up to this. I had been searching for my own place for a few weeks. I drove around town talking to realtor companies, and in that time, I had just got moved to full-time at work, so things were looking up. I had talked to a realtor about looking at an apartment and getting approved. And in the time that it took me to get to work to grab my pay stub, I spent 2 hours next to my broken truck because I had just rear-ended somebody. I went 2 years without doing any damage to my truck, so why now? Why at my moment in life did this happen? There was only one valid reason I could come up with. I was 18 going on 19 years old. I don't have a sense of the world yet. I'm trying to dive head first without even getting my feet wet. God said that wasn't his plan. I needed to slow down, and he told me that. He told me that it is okay to be right where I'm at. He has a plan for me, and it doesn't seem like going out and being on my own is the right choice right now. Say nothing. People question why we do the things we do. Sometimes it's just in our nature, or sometimes it's just the way it is. Either way, we will get judged for what we say and what we do. Now, I've been told that I'm the life of the party when I talk or go out or go to socialize. But I can't seem to talk these days. Everything I say comes out wrong and it ends up ruining something. So, I will just say nothing. I know I talk too much, but people don't like it when I don't talk, so I'm stuck. I'm lost. I can't please everyone. But I feel like I'm such a bad guy all the time for just words. Words are a funny thing. They make situations better or worse. Words like I love you can mean so much more than you suck. Words are a tricky thing. Depending on how you use words can change the whole outcome of a situation. And in many cases, I used the wrong words. Even the words I didn't use didn't seem right. Sometimes people can get away with saying the wrong words when they sound right. That wasn't the case, and it never will be for me. It seems like everything I say comes out wrong. So I will just say nothing. It is honestly probably better off that way. I wouldn't cause so many people so much hurt. I ruined most everything that turned out to be somewhat good. Why? Because I said the wrong words to certain people. So I will just say nothing. I get my feelings out in these writings. I can't say these things to a person, mainly because I don't really have one person I can run to. One day karma will catch up to me and repay me for everyone that I have hurt. Everyone I have hurt through using words. So I will just say nothing. I've gotten to the point where I want to distance myself so far away from people that they don't really know if I'm even still around. I'm upset I'm causing this much trouble. But I just want someone to talk to me. But I also want to be alone. I'm so confused right now. So I will just say nothing. In retrospect, let's say nothing. Let's say nothing some more. Because in this world, saying nothing is more of a response than actually responding. And that happens all too much. Someone doesn't get their way and they ignore the person and hope and pray that that person starts to miss them and comes back, and then everything that was the other person's fault. All because of words that were either said or left unsaid. Pinky promise. I remember when I was younger and kisses could heal the pain that you had from when you fell down, or when you had a secret that you told somebody, you asked them for a pinky promise to keep it secret. Recently in life, that has left us. Pinky promises have declined, and no one takes the time to appreciate how simple those really were. You would ask someone to hold on to a deep secret about you with the touch of a finger. You put your trust into somebody by sense of touch. And to me, that's simple. But in this day and age, we are lacking trust. No one says anything anymore because we're a generation scared to put our trust into something that won't last. I have people in my life that I have once told everything to, that I don't even talk to anymore. And they probably still know all those things about me, but through this I have learned that you can't harbor hatred. Life's too short to have hatred built up for people who did you wrong. In this loveless generation, I feel like if we at least brought pinky promises back, it wouldn't solve much, but it would at least help out the few of us who still see a little bit of good in the world. More recently now than ever, I felt down and low, But I keep my faith. I keep pushing. It got better. Keep fighting. You're worth more than you know. I pinky promise. Thinking. Cyrus came back on leave from the military. Before he left, he printed me a bunch of pictures of the good times we had. I'm sitting here on my day off looking at those and reminiscing. I miss all my friends and being able to hang out all the time. I miss being happy. Because back then I genuinely was. Times were simple just back a year and a half ago. High school, man, the glory days. Nothing was better than those times. I wouldn't say better, but, simpler. We all still worked, but not as much. We were able to hang out every weekend, it seemed. All of us were closer than ever, it seemed. Then life happened. We all went out on our own ways, and it separated us more than ever. We never thought we would be anything less than invincible. We soon found out that we are. Our paths caused some deep thoughts and contemplations about life. Back then, all we cared about was who was driving to lunch and who slept with who this weekend. We had the world in our hands, just for it to be ripped away. After we graduated, we had 3 solid months before everyone left and went off and did their own thing, and we'd made the best with what we had. Every weekend for about 3 months, we hung out with whoever wasn't working. We were literally so close. We knew everything that was going on with each other's life, and now we won't talk for weeks, and then if we don't, we'll have to catch up. Life's crazy. One minute, we're all together having a good time, and the next, everyone has their backpacks ready for a new chapter. Our chapters are all different. Mine in book form, others leaving for college and the military. It's surreal to me. I can't. 5, 6 years ago, 5 or 6 long years ago, I was in 8th grade. The biggest disaster I've been through. It was kind of like where I was last year, minus the drinking, and they added a worse heartache, I guess. I played sports to get away from home, to be completely honest. I was never any good at them, but hey, I tried. All of my friends tried to hook me up with chicks, and one actually almost gave me a chance. Keyword almost. We never did. We never tried. I met back up with her this summer of 2017, and it was different. We both grew up. I drank too much, but that's not surprising. But it was definitely different. At one point I had mad feelings for her, but it just wasn't the same this time around. I did not feel the same I did 5 years ago. I slept in the same bed as someone when I was thinking of someone else. And I didn't know how to go about telling her that I was not feeling mutual. I can't do it. I've tried this whole long distance thing a few times before, and they just aren't my style. I can't do it. I complain I can't find a girlfriend, but there are plenty of girls that would like to have me as a companion. But they either don't feel the same way, or the timing isn't right, or timing is everything, remember? It was another case when it wasn't right. It sucks. But that's just the way it is sometimes. I can't do it. And I can't let her catch feelings when they don't feel the same on my end. I've done my best not to hurt people, which I failed at doing miserably from time to time. I can see this one ending badly, and I don't want it to. How do you tell someone that an us will never happen? Because as much as I know you would like it to happen, it just doesn't seem like it will. It has nothing to do with her. She's a great person. It is just that I can't get myself to be committed in a long-distance relationship. Now, mind you, if she was only a few hours away, that would be a different story. But she's states away, and it is just not going to work for me. And that's as simple as that. I am sorry. Why? I am a firm believer in God, and I know that He works in ways that we cannot understand. In 2012, the night it was supposed to turn into 2013, New Year's Eve, I received a phone call from my father. My dad had told me that my brother Jason had died. Now, Jason was quite a few years older than I was. He was in his 30s and I was about 13 at the time. I didn't really know much about Jason, and that irks me. Every time we did get the chance to hang out, I was very little and I don't remember it. I don't keep in contact with my dad or his side of the family. I don't really care to, if we're going to be completely honest. But I'm working on it. There was something about that phone call and that event in general that just made me question everything. Why did he have to take him so soon? Why did he not let me have a relationship with him? Why did it happen that way? What would I give to just have 5 more minutes with you, brother? There's a reason I do the things that I do, and I strive to be successful because of you, brother. We never had a relationship, and I think that hurts me more than not having you around. Because if we would have had a relationship, I could have at least say that I knew what I was doing the night it all happened. But you hadn't talked to me in months. And in part, it's my fault we didn't. And that fucking kills me. You tried to check up on me and I blew you off. I've done so much growing up since that phone call 5 years ago. And I'm so sorry, brother. I never knew that would happen to you. I would do anything to have you back for just a little bit. I know you're watching over me, and I just hope you're proud of the man I'm becoming. You motivate me to do my best, and I just wish you would see how much I've grown up, brother. Every year on your birthday I send you balloons, and I just hope that someday they make it to you. New Year's Eve is harder and harder on me each year. And people don't understand why it's so hard on me. I love you, brother, and the fact that I can never say that to your face or on the phone upsets me so much. You wanted to see me succeed, and that's what I will do. I will do it all for you, and for myself. But know you are contributing to any success I achieve. Not a day goes by that I don't think of that phone call I got 5 some odd years ago. I miss you, brother. I wish you were here. You should be here to see this. I'm attempting something big here, and I wish you could be here to see it. I love you, and I will always love you, brother. I often wonder what the world would be like if I left. Now, I don't mean I'd actually do something like commit suicide, because I love my life and I still have a lot of life to live. But that is a question that reoccurs in my head on a weekly basis. I wonder what people would have to say about me if they held a candle lighting for me. Would there be good things said about me? Who would take the time to show up? Would the town be as quiet as it is when we lost the people like we did these last 4 years? I just wonder what people will remember about me. It's strange to think about. I don't want it to happen anytime soon, but the thought always gets the better of me. All I know is that I hope when my head finally does lay to rest, I don't want anyone to be sad. For I wish that I made such an impact on them that they would cherish the moments rather than wish we could have more. I often wonder why I had not gone yet, but I'm grateful that I haven't. I truly love my life and everyone in it. I often wonder why I'm here on Earth. And to the best of my knowledge, I would say to help people. I have a gift of taking care of my friends and the people that I care about, and I do believe that will make me go farther in life. Whether it's through writing or face-to-face altercation, I know I'm here for a real reason. And you never know. You could be reading this and need someone to talk to, and I'd be right here for you. Type 1 or 2. I don't believe I have a type. I don't necessarily chase the same type of girls based on how they looked or act. But I believe if I vibe with someone and share a connection with someone, then that's really what matters. I could care less if she's black, white, blue, yellow, or orange. If we vibe, we vibe. She doesn't have to have the biggest boobs or butt in the world. None of that stuff really matters. But if she has a great personality and can keep the conversation going with me when I really have nothing to say, and if she actually cares about things and she's passionate. No one likes someone who has no ambitions or passion for anything. I strongly believe that a pretty face and a nice body can only get you so far. Looks are a nice addition, but the whole package lies within the heart and the soul and the mind of the girl. But I guess that's how it goes. The pretty ones will always have the power over the ordinary. But this is more of an explanation, in a dream world, so to say. My perfect relationship probably won't happen, but I would imagine it would go a little something like this. It's all about timing. It would be one random night. I'd be out socializing with friends, something like a party or baseball game or something, and there she is, just standing there smiling, not realizing that I was looking at her, and when she did, it would be all over for me. Now, I don't know what you look like yet, but I know you are out there. I'd go over and talk to you, and for some weird reason, I would actually have the confidence to do so. We would eventually exchange numbers and leave it at that. It's all about timing. The next day, we would text each other to meet up again. A first date, I would assume. I would assume that we would also go to a small coffee shop or somewhere to eat, preferably the coffee shop. They're usually more mellow and a nice place for a first date, especially when you first get to know someone. I would tell her about all my passions for writing and music, and she would tell me hers. Things would go great. Fast forward a few weeks, and we'd go out to dinner every so often. We basically know everything there is to know about each other at this point, and things are going great. It is all about timing. A few more weeks pass by, and I ask her to be my girlfriend. She says yes. Now, this is weird because they usually say no. But she's different. We clicked on a lot of things, so to say, and a lot more than any other girl that I've ever tried with. It was nice to see someone put as much effort in the relationship as me. A few months go by and we met each other's family that we talked so much about in those dinners that we had prior. A few more weeks pass and things are going steady. Along with family, we've met our closest friends in which both sides liked one another. She would be different in the fact that she had her eyes set on one person, me. She didn't have the intent to break me down like some of the others did. She would light up a room with her smile and she could talk to any single person in that room. She had a heart of gold and she couldn't hurt a fly. She's someone who saw my past and rather not judged it, but she saw how it shaped me and appreciated how far I came, and for how low I was. Someone who saw my flaws and thought that they were diamonds in the rough. She liked me for me, not my money, not my material things, me. Just me. This one is different than any other girl I've ever had. She didn't think that I was super boring, even though I knew I was. We could just sit there for hours talking about future plans or what's going on in the world today. We would occasionally stop by that coffee shop that started us. That ended up being the place where I asked her to be my girlfriend. So every month we go back on that special day. We would have a fairly simple relationship. We both know what it takes to survive. Dates are a must, but if she doesn't want to go out that night, we would both be okay with staying in. We would make the best out of our lives, and I know one day that I would marry this girl. Weeks turn into months, months turn into years, and she will still be the first thing that I think about when I wake up in the morning, and the last thing I think about when I close my eyes at night. And my feelings for her will never change over the years. I don't ask for too much, but I just want this to happen. Love. I've never loved, or been loved for that matter. It seems like something that I want and I need right now. But I'd be lying if I agreed with you. I don't need love. I need clarity to find love within myself. I can't love anyone else if I can't even love myself. And I struggle to find the self-confidence within myself to say, hey, go talk to her, it'll work out, because it never ever does work out. It is getting better every day, but it's still not where I want it to be. I want to be able to talk with anyone with no regrets and not choke up or be goofy, even though that's kind of fun. I'm working on it, but it is still so hard to function and be a fun guy when I'm around people. But I don't want to change who I am because of this. I want to be myself still. And when the one finally does come along, I don't want to change. I want someone who falls in love with me for me. I know I don't deserve it, but later on in my life, all I want is to find someone who makes me feel myself again. Make me feel the love that I was neglected. I just want you to give me a chance to see that I'm not all that bad. But life isn't all that it's mapped out to be, and it won't happen for me. Love is such a touchy subject for some people. Some people are still getting over their first love, and some people like me haven't experienced it firsthand. Love is not for everyone, but it sure is a beautiful thing when it works out. Love can tear you down and make a heartbreak soup, or it can make you the happiest person on earth. And clearly things will never be perfect between two people, and in life you'll be faced with hardships and fights. But how you come away from those adversities show how you will fare in the relationship. I do believe true love exists, but it is rare. I also believe that you have to go through a few toxic relationships before the one comes along, and that's okay. You get up and you try again. And the next time you try, you never know what beauty lies ahead. Love is an emotion in itself, but it also gives you so many emotions correlated with it. Love can make you happy, sad, joyous, emotional, and all things in between. Love is a tricky thing. You think that everything is, and then the one day your partner can get up and walk away because they lost interest. Then they want to come back a week later when they realize they couldn't find anyone else. Love can make you spiral out of control if you let it. Love can make you lose friends. Love can gain you friends. Love is all about timing. You can wait all you want and pray that it'll eventually come. You can talk to all the girls and guys that you want to, but if the timing is off, nothing will work. Timing is everything in love. Love creates memories that can last a lifetime, or leave you traumatized and make you hate love forever. It all depends on your perspective on your situation. You can't be afraid of the dark when it comes to love. You have to find the strength to keep going through the dark times in relationships. It takes two to tango. You have to work out your differences. Love is the root of all evil, but it's simply beautiful. One of my favorite bands once said, "You will find beauty in the act of drowning." And to me, that resembles love. We tend to not see things for the way they truly are. Even the worst things in life can be beautiful if you let them be. Love can be beautiful if you let it be. Depression. For those of you who don't know, I have battled depression since I was young. I just never really told anyone but close friends about it. It affects me every day. I keep fighting it. It is a disease that eats at your mental state of being. During the writing process is when I felt my lowest. I spent most of my nights either drowning my sorrows with alcohol or staying in my room doing nothing. I didn't get much sleep either way. I know that there are different forms of severities of depression, and I'd like to say mine is more on the mellow side. I get depressed, but never to the point where I want to kill myself. It's such a hard thing when you know someone is so low they feel like they will only be at peace when they finally pull the trigger or take those pills. Depression is a very real thing that sadly a lot of people have to deal with. I know too many people that have their own demons against them, and it is such an awful feeling knowing you can't help them. Next to when I was a little kid, last summer was the beginning of the year is when I felt my worst. My best friend left for the military. One was already in the military. Two of my closest friends were off in college, and the ones that stayed here are always working. I felt like I had no one. I was extremely low, and that's why this book is being written. I found clarity in writing my thoughts down on paper. It beat having to go to a therapist and spend a bunch of money I don't have. I'm totally understanding of the fact that people need that person they can talk to each week. It just didn't seem appealing to me, and it wasn't a need of mine. But I do realize that people do need that support and that help, and I fully support it. It just wasn't for me. I also realize that writing is not everyone's forte, but it helped me, so I encourage it. But I do know that it's not for everybody. One thing I've learned about depression is that your problems are not bigger than someone else's. That being said, everyone has their own battles. If you know someone that's struggling, be there for them. Be supportive. Don't make it a mission to make it about you and say that you have it worse. Because no matter if that's how you feel, it probably isn't true. Be a buddy, not a bully. As cliche as that sounds, that's how I try to live my life. I would much rather be there for someone than to tear them down. Depression is a serious issue, and it should not be overlooked. How many people do we have to lose till we realize it's a problem? For anyone going through it, I want you to know that you are worth every second you get to spend on this earth. And I'm truly sorry for anything that you are going through. I want to see you smile today, tomorrow, and many days that come after that. Keep fighting. because it will get better. It might take longer than you want, but it will be worth it in the end. Please stay strong. You deserve nothing less than endless happiness. Life will get better. 1-800-273-8255. Irritation. You always got your cup of tea, and that bothered me. You always had everything, the friends, the nice clothes, the nice ride. You never had to work for any of it. I think that's what upset me the most. You got all those things by just being you. You never had to struggle like I did. You always got mom and dad's money to go spend on the weekend, when all I wanted was mine's presence. You never felt hurt like I did. You never had to experience the things like I did, and for that I'm truly grateful, because I don't think you could have handled it. Not many people would still be here if they went through the things I did. And the way I see it, it's life, and damn it, life happens. I'm fortunate enough to have lived through the hardships to be where I am, and I've worked my ass off to be where I am. But we must have been raised differently. People the same age as me, either working as much as I do to survive or not doing anything and still getting help from their parents, driving a nicer car than me, not having to pay rent and just lounging around. I have no idea why, but that just irritates me so much. And I don't think it's the fact that you got everything handed to you. It's the fact that you still complain about what you don't have. You have it made, so it seems. But I never took the time to use my own advice and read what's on the inside. You were hurting, you were searching for a peace of mind, and you never found it. So maybe I'm not mad at you, after all. Maybe I'm mad at myself for not taking the time to help you out. Maybe you didn't want my help. I kept trying to find the reason why I always thought so low on you. But looking back at it now, I'm so sorry I did. I always thought of being a buddy not a bully is a good thing. But I can't even follow my own ideology enough to help certain people that I care about. The thought of you crosses my mind every day, and I can't seem to let it fly away. Evidently, we're all hurting, searching, and lurking. We all see what's on the outside, and we don't hardly ever take into account what's on the inside. I'm irritated at myself for not seeing that ahead of me. You always got your cup of tea, and that always bothered me. Chapter 2. The Good Times. The first one. My freshman year of high school was some of the best and weirdest times for me, going through body changes and adjusting to a new school. Playing football, I was able to make friends, but they were friends that I had because I saw them 5 days a week. No one really wanted to hang out on the weekends or anything like that, so I was kind of alone. I went to lunch by myself a lot, bounced around a couple of different girlfriends. It was fun nonetheless. If I recall right, though, it was freshman year PE football was the first time that I met this kid. Mind you, I was never a stud athlete, but by any means, I was a damn good PE football player. It wasn't hard to be, though. Well, anyway, he saw that I threw a football pretty good, and I could also catch it, so he wanted me on his team. So he and I and two other football players ended up on the same team, and we dominated. After PE football was over, we started talking more. We became friends because of it. His name was Cyrus. Cyrus and I became really good friends as time went on, and it really started with a Facebook message. One weekend I asked him what he was doing and if he wanted to hang out. I mean, luckily for us back then, our parents were basically the same in the fact that they had to know where their parents of their friends were and where we were going to be and the whole 9 yards after that. We really lucked out because our parents ended up working together. So they both agreed it was cool if we hung out. And I knew from the first time we hung out it was going to lead to a lifelong friendship. Months go by, we're hanging out all the time. And the main reason I say first one is because it was true. Cyrus was one of the first real friends that I had in Susanville, and throughout high school we became closer, and we would spend every weekend together. Mainly doing dumb stuff, but who wouldn't at that age? We were young and dumb. As we got older, we experienced a whole lot together, from our first trucks, getting our first jobs, to our first drinks. If there wasn't a time we weren't together, it was weird, and people agreed on that too. Even when we had girlfriends, we still made time for each other, basically. No matter what any of the other boys said, he tried his best in some situations to make time for us. Cyrus has seen me at my highest high and my lowest low, and he never judged me for any of it. He was the guy that I could talk to about anything. I cannot tell you how many times we just stayed up late bullshitting about life. He always supported my decisions, even though sometimes he didn't agree with them. When I went through my really bad rough patch last summer, he was right there with me whenever he needed to be, to make sure that I was okay. I can't thank this guy enough for everything that he did for me. Friends like Cyrus are hard to come by, but when they do, don't ever lose them. I with pride say that he is off living his dream that he's had since he was a young kid, and not many people can say that. This guy makes me proud every day, and I know he's going to be successful. So to you, Cyrus, thank you for being my go-to. And it's crazy how the world works. One simple hey can turn into a lifelong friendship. Who the hell is that? Okay, guys, to this day, this is probably one of the funniest stories that I tell. I really enjoy this story, and it's something that's gonna be carried on throughout my life. And it goes a little something like this. So somewhere along the lines, this guy named John came into my life. The story of he and I meeting, in my eyes, is pure gold. So the way I remember it is one day Cyrus asked me if I wanted to go out to John Langston's house. And at first, I knew who he was, but he didn't know me, and I know he didn't know me. I want to say this was the end of our freshman year, beginning of sophomore year of high school. So when I said yes to go hang out at John's, Cyrus asked John if it was okay. John responded with, "Who the hell is that?" And I should have known a response would come from someone that I have never met before, but it was honestly too funny for me to even care. But from that night on, however, the three of us created a bond that seems unbreakable. The first time I went over to John's, they had steak and mac and cheese, and I devoured 3 plates at least, and his parents were in shock. But they liked me after that. And for me, I love when parents love me, and his did. John was a little different from us. He knew a lot more people than we did, and it seemed like he got out a lot more than we did. Mainly because of who mine and Cyrus' parents were, we couldn't go out and do much. John and Cyrus knew each other through soccer from when they were younger, and they had been friends for a while. To me, John wasn't one of the kids who went through too much as a young kid, but you could tell that he had seen a little bit. He was always very respectful person and well-mannered, and you can tell that from who his parents were. John was one of the guys that I looked up to and I aspired to be. He has a great head on his shoulders, and when he wants something, he isn't afraid to go out and get it. John was the one who introduced me to my first bonfire. He introduced me to a lot of firsts. There was one specific place that we would all go that we made so many memories in. The world-famous lake house. Whenever we wanted to, it seems like we would go up there and just hang out and have a good time. We spent all of last summer there, it seemed. I have so many memories with John, and it's really hard to single out a certain few, but I'll try my best. One of the best nights we had together was just a simple bonfire with me, Cyrus, John's little brother, John. This was probably our junior year. As the night went on, we started to get emotional. And we all camped outside that night. I felt comfortable with those guys, and I felt like it was time for them to know a little bit more about me. I talked the air off for at least an hour. They all looked at me a little differently, but they didn't leave. Most people did when I opened up, but these guys, they were good people. And I'm so glad they didn't leave. Me, John, and Cyrus seemed invincible. We felt like rock stars at times. John is one of the best dudes that I ever got the pleasure of meeting and knowing. John boy, it's been one hell of a ride, and if you ever get the chance to listen to this or read this, I just want to let you know that I love you, buddy, and you've been hell of a friend to me these last couple years, and I know you're going to do great things with your life if you just keep pushing, bud, and you got the mindset and the drive to do anything you want in this life, and I'm excited to see where life takes you, buddy. I love you, dude. Thanks for being a good friend. Hey, slow down. Jordan, man. When we first met, I honestly didn't think that we would become as good of friends as we are, but I'm really glad that we are. When you moved up here, I didn't have a clue that later on in life you would be such an important person in mine. You're the definition of someone who comes into your life and helps for the better. You helped me more than you ever know back when I was in my horrible mindset. Mainly because you have the ability to literally make anyone laugh in the room. You're always coming up with something funny to say, and whenever I need a good laugh, I always reach out and try and talk to you and try and hang out with you, because every time I hung out with you, it seemed like it was just endless laughter, because everything you say can be hilarious. Just because of the way you say some things and all of that fun stuff makes it just all worthwhile. It's never not a good time when you're around. As much as I never thought we would be friends, I'm forever grateful that we are, because you're such a good dude. I enjoy every time that we kick it and we have our life talks. Thank you for being a good person and an even better friend. To all the times we've had, man, I just want to thank you for making me and the rest of the squad laugh. I still think about our camping trip before graduation was one of my favorite memories with you. We've made so many memories, and I think that trip is my favorite because when you, Cyrus, and I went down to the lake at 11 o'clock at night, and we knocked over the volleyball net and ran through my parents' campsite, just doing stupid, fun stuff. Early from that point on, I knew we'd be great friends, and since then we've spent a lot of time together hanging out and bullshitting. I've always looked up to you and your majestic beard. Mine's getting there. Thank you for everything, brother. From, hey, slow down, to donger, to skate fast, eat ass. Your clever one-liners always make me so happy, and I don't think I've ever been in a bad mood when you're around. You've helped me so much when it comes to fixing my truck, to life issues. You've always been there to help. You're a great friend, bro. Don't ever forget that. I love you, Jordass. Jordan, you've been one of the best friends a guy can ask for. To be completely honest, like I said earlier, I never thought that we would be good friends, but when you came into squad, it just made our squad 10 times better, and I just want to let you know that. And I hope you get to listen to this, and I hope you get to read this as well. I love you, buddy. Jack Bro! Freaking Tanner, man. If you ever need a hype man or someone to have a good drink with, Tanner should be your go-to. That kid is extremely funny and goofy. I want to say we met back in second grade, but he swears we didn't. I still won't believe him because I know we did. We just weren't as good of friends back then. He kind of hated me. But oh well. When our whole squad kind of formed throughout high school, Tanner came along, and I knew it was going to lead to a lifelong friendship. When I moved back, I met him through football freshman year, and I didn't think anything of it at the time. But as we grew up, we became better friends. He does his best to be the best hype man and wingman. He tries his best to make sure his friends are taken care of. He has such a good heart, and I know that I gained a lifelong friend in him. If I ever needed anything, I know that I could always go to Tanner for advice or just to talk or even fantasy football, even on weeks that we play each other. We both had rough summers last year, and we began our trademark. We became Jack Bros. We spent most summer nights sharing a bottle and drowning our sorrows. There are too many damn memories with this kid to single out just one, but I think that camping trip when we all played Mad Libs, you came up with all the funniest shit. Oh, and by the way, your iPod's fire. Do you still have that, question mark? From Super Bowl to the camping trip to the bonfires out at John's to senior prom, there's been one reoccurring theme. Jack Bros are always causing trouble. We made that our trademark, man. We went together like Cal Naughton Jr. and Ricky Bobby. When there was a hangout, when we weren't together making memories, it seemed weird. We made some damn good memories together, brother. I can't wait to make many more memories with you and the boys. I appreciate everything you do for me. You mean so much more to me than you'd ever know. I love you, dude. Thank you for being the biggest support for me and being my biggest fan. And I'll make it one day so you can say that I told you so. And that would be the biggest day for me. Thanks, bud. Guys, if you don't know who Tanner is, you really need to get him in your life. He is such a positive influence on a lot of things. And yeah, we may drink together a lot, but he really helps out in the time of need. Like I said, he always makes sure his friends are taken care of, and he's just a really good person to have in your life. And if you don't have Tanner in your life, you should probably work on getting Tanner in your life, or someone like Tanner in your life, because good people like him come around so often, and you just can't let that opportunity pass you up. Um, Tanner, you've been such a good friend and a great help for me these last few years, and you're always giving me sound advice, and you're just someone that I can go to and literally talk to about anything, and I appreciate that so much. I love you, buddy. Um, thank you for everything, Tanner. You're a blessing. Sammy boy. Damn, Sammy boy. We have been through some shit, my dude. We met through football as well, and we knew each other from way back in the day, like second grade, like I was saying with Tanner. But when I moved back and I needed a friend, you and Tanner kind of came and took me under your guys' wing. You have always been so damn good to me. Even when we fell off, you were always still there for me. One of my favorite memories with you, brother, was when you came to my house at like 10 o'clock at night just to bring me chocolate cake. And then we sat there and bullshitted for like an hour about life. It was always good to talk to you about anything, and that's probably why we got along so well. There was a point in our lives where we didn't speak because of a bunch of bullshit that went on, and that was such a tough time for me because even though it didn't seem like I cared, I did, and all I wanted was my brother back. You truly don't realize how much you miss someone till they're gone. Tanner took it way harder than I did, but it caught up with me in time. When you left for the Air Force, I didn't think it was going to be difficult for me, but it was a lot harder on me than you'd expect. And so now every time when you visit, I feel like I have to give you a giant emotional hug. We won't get this day back, and knowing I didn't think it was going to hurt kind of upsets me, honestly. Your family, you're doing a great thing, and I love you. Throughout all the ups and downs me and Sam had in our lives throughout high school and just everything in general, he always came back, and we always sorted our mess out. And Sam's doing a good thing, and he's living out his dream, and he is one of the biggest inspirations to me, um, as a go-getter. He just goes and gets what he wants, and um, having the ability to talk to him about anything is nice. And like Tanner, they're always giving solid sound advice, and um, he's a good person to have in your life. So thank you for everything, Sammy, and I'm glad that we settled our differences. Redman, Clayton, you for sure don't get enough recognition, man. Um, but I'm gonna commentate on this after I'm done reading what I wrote to you, buddy. Clay Dog, my dude. I'm so angry at myself for missing you out on the first copy. And for those who didn't know, I printed off a couple of copies, and Clayton was not in that, so I'm gonna try and make it up to him. We always seemed to butt heads, dude. We never got along, but we always worked it out, kind of like me and Sam. But I think ours was a little bit worse. I met you through Sire's freshman year, and the three of us did a lot together. Before John came along, of course. But even then, when John came along, it was us four against the world. I don't really know when or where we split, but I felt like I took Cyrus away from you, and that wasn't my intention, and I knew that upset you. So maybe that's why we had a hard time getting along at first. So I'm sorry for that. Either way, we made the most out of this friendship. From countless nights at your house chilling in the hot tub and singing country music, we had the best of times together, even though we hardly liked each other at some points. With all of the bullshit and the past issues aside, you are someone I consider my brother. You have a big heart that no one really sees because they're afraid to open up your book, Clay Dog. They see what's on the outside and won't even bother reading what's on the inside. You're a great dude, Clay Dog, and I appreciate all our talks about life, girls, anything. It's just nice to sit down with someone and talk. And a lot of the time recently, that person has been you. We can go on for hours and hours about the most random stuff. And friendships like this one are extremely hard to come by. Because for all of the stuff we went through, we came out of it on top, and I'm extremely glad for that. On top of being able to talk for hours, we're always laughing when we're together, and we both think of the stupidest things that are so funny at the time. And you're a really funny guy, Clayton. I can't wait to see what the future holds for you. Keep your head on straight, and you can do anything you set your mind to. Clay, I love you, buddy, and I appreciate everything you do for me. To the nights we hardly remember, with great people, I say cheers. Thanks for being a great friend, Clayton. Clayton is one of those people that definitely doesn't get enough recognition for being as good a friend as he is. The fact that I didn't even include him in the last copy, like I said, really upsets me because he is such a good person, and he doesn't get enough recognition. He was always there if we needed a house to crash at, especially because we live in town, you know. He was always there, and he's always making sure his friends are taken care of. And like I said, I never meant to take Cyrus away from you. That wasn't my intent, Clayton. And I know that's probably the main reason why we didn't like each other. But I can't tell you how many times and how many good memories I have at your house, in the garage, or out in the hot tub, or anything like that, Clayton. You've been one of those people that's been able to stick around and just help impact my life for the better. And so for that, I say thank you, Clayton. You've been nothing but a great friend to me, and you always will be, and you're always someone I'm going to consider brother. I'm excited to see where life takes you. Like I said, keep your head on straight, and you can do anything in this life, Clayton. You'll want a boof? God damn it, Wesley. The little brother I never had. It's been surreal watching you grow up into the young man you're becoming. You're as tough as they come, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for you. More recently now than ever, we've been bonding. But you're such a well-rounded individual that anyone would be lucky to get to spend time with. You have such a wild sense of humor that I hope you never lose, because honestly, you're fucking hilarious. My freshman year of high school was when we first met, and I want to say you were in the 6th or 7th grade at that time. Just watching you grow up has been so weird and amazing at the same time. We have made way too many memories to count, and a lot more recently. Every trip out to the lake house was a memory. But I think to all the bonfires we had, and I think those might beat them out. The bar challenge is one of the nights that I don't think I'll ever forget. You put down more than someone that was there that I won't really mention, and that was a funny thing to watch because you were younger than all of us. It was one of the first nights that we actually let you kick it with us, and since then you've been with us through everything. There really isn't a time you aren't with us anymore. You're one of the boys in my book. You're tough as nails, Wes. You're kind of like me in the sense that we've both gone through some stuff. And even with that being said, we never lost our true ties to life. We always remained civil. You are truly my little brother, and I know you can talk to me about anything and everything. I'll be there. You're a great guy, and even if you don't kind of eat dong, I still love you, buddy. Wesley, Wesley, Wesley. You're probably one of the funniest people that I have ever met. And you literally have been one of the only people that has been there for me more recently. And just, I know when we hang out, we don't have to do much. We can just sit there and talk and bullshit about life, and we will be completely fine. I love you, Wes. What you doing, bro? About 5 years ago, I went on my first trip with the Langstons, and you were there with Wesley. You were a chubby little 6th or 7th grader, I don't really remember. John and I and some of our older friends were just hanging out, same with your crowd. Back then I wasn't thinking I'd be as close as you and Wes as I am now. That weekend I saw you get in a fight, which was some pretty funny stuff. And that trip in general was just great. We all became closer. It was the thing that led us to become great friends in the first place. Years go by and I'm watching you grow up into this big, strong kid, and I'm in shock. You're turning into such a good kid, and I'm so proud of you, buddy. From being a beast on the football field to getting your license, you make your big bro proud every day. And I think it's funny that every time you want to kick it, you always hit me up with the, "What you doing, bro?" I usually respond with, "Working." Ever since some of that trip some odd years ago, we have been closer and closer. You, at such a young age, are understanding life more than half the kids your age. I'm a few years older, and I can sit and have an intelligent conversation with you. And that's awesome. That will help you go far in life with whatever you choose to do. I've made so many good memories with you, bro, and one of my favorites was the night we went up to the lake house and partied in the trailer. We sang all night and just had a good time, and those are simply the best nights for me. I don't know about you, but they are always fun for me. Aiden, you're another one of the little brothers that I never had, and the fact that our
parents and everything get along and know each other, and the fact that you can talk to me and be intelligent, and at such a young age, you're gonna go far in life, Aiden, and I'm excited to see where life takes you. Just don't get caught up in you know high school. Don't make high school your priority. Um, think further ahead. Um, you're gonna go far in life, Aiden. Just trust your gut and do what makes you happy. Don't do anything for the money. Do what makes you happy. I love you, buddy. And to everyone else, there were so many more people that I could have added, and I know who you are, and I know you know who you are. It was a lot for me, um, especially getting permission to use your name and everything. Just know that I didn't forget about you. I love all of you. Thank you for even reading this. Just know that due to time constraints and legal issues and people not addressing their name, I couldn't add you into the book. And if I didn't ask you to add you into the book, that's just on me. That's my fault, and I'm very sorry. Just know that I didn't forget about you. I just didn't have time to add you in. I love you all nonetheless, and thank you for getting this far into the book. Chapter 3, Talking to Myself. Dear younger me. Dear younger me, I'm so sorry for all the bullshit you were put through. You battled like hell to get to where you ended up being. You were never the kid that made anyone laugh, but I did make a few people cry. You saw some shit that no kid your age should ever see. Somehow you battled through everything that was thrown at you to become such a good young man. I don't really understand why or how you stayed to fight, but present me is so glad you did. You overcame so many obstacles and so much shit to get to where you are in this life. You were bullied and picked on by so many people. You took all of that and motivated yourself to be a better person. You got up. You took a stand. You changed for the better. I, and so many people, are proud of you. I, and so many others, never thought you would make it past middle school. As much as a little shit you were to everyone, you got better and changed. You made life a lot easier for present day me. You weren't always focused on any task you needed to get done, but we worked on that. You made the best out of a really tough situation, and for that I will always take pride on you on that. You took all of the hardships that you were thrown your way, and you turned all of that negative energy into positive energy. And most people can't say that they did that. For not having a father or any father figure in your life, you turned out alright, I'd say. I and so many people agree. You did good, kid. I'm extremely proud that you stayed and fought. You are more amazing than you ever know. Dear present me, why are you still here? You had so many reasons to leave this horrible place, and you didn't? Why? Why would you stay and fight when you felt like giving up? Why? Because you crave success. You want to be a winner. You were tired of everyone bashing on you, so you got up and proved them wrong. I knew you were going to, because you like nothing more than proving people who doubted you wrong. You remember when you kept harassing your mom because you wanted to quit school and then she almost got in a lot of trouble because of your selfish behavior? Pepperidge Farm remembers. But really, dude, you were an asshole. Present me thanks you for changing. So let me get this straight. The kid that once wanted to quit school and play video games for the rest of his life has 1 year of college under his belt, and people said that I wouldn't make it past high school. I work full time and bust my ass for a paycheck. I pay rent every month, my own groceries. I own a truck. Not too bad for someone who is supposedly supposed to be nothing. Present me, you're heading down the right path, kid. Me and so many others are proud of where you are and where you came. Keep up the good work. Hopefully years from now, Your life will be all that it's mapped out to be. Keep going, bud. I think you're doing just fine. Dear future me, what's the future like, dude? Flying cars, food in pill form, those transfer tubes that send you straight to work? Well, I hope technology isn't that advanced by then. Even though that would be pretty sweet. Future me, all I want for you is to be happy. No matter where life takes you, I just want you to be happy in whatever it is you may be doing. I hope you found the woman of your dreams and you are married with a couple of little Seans running around. Then I can really take the title of Papa Sean. I want you to find the success you always dreamed about. Your drive and determination will get you there. Just keep pushing. You know there will be good and bad days. I hope the good outweighs the bad on the journey they call your life. You deserve a life. Not good or bad, but a life. After all the shit you've gone through, you deserve it. For all the nights I stayed up trying to finish this book, or homework in college, or drinking with the boys, you kept your sanity. And that's all anyone can ask for. Future me, be the best damn version of me that I have to offer this world. I want to inspire people. Help me do that. You've seen things so you can relate to certain situations that other people cannot. That's what makes you, Sean Anderson, special. You have had a gift of helping and catering to other people's needs since you were young. I just hope you put it to good use. Through the good and the bad and the ugly, I hope you pull through. You have the power to do whatever you want with this life. Make a good decision. For me. Chapter 4. Happiness? Feeling normal. For the first time in months, I'm starting to feel like myself again. My attitude towards everything is changing in a positive manner. But more importantly, my smile is returning. The old happy me is starting to come back, and I couldn't be happier with the way things are. Life is finally starting to fall into place, and I'm loving every single minute of it. I have a great family and some wonderful friends by my side. Life is looking up. I reconnected my relationship with the big man upstairs, and since then I felt like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I can honestly say I haven't felt this good in a long time. I love my life and my people in it. I'm starting to lose weight and feel better physically and mentally. For the first time in a long time, I'm starting to feel normal. It's truly a wonderful feeling. I can see the changes in my life sprouting all around me. I'm very excited for the future. I can happily say I'm starting to regain my happiness again, and all I can really say is that not everything is going to last, because things will get better, and I promise you if you let the good things come and you are patient with the possibilities, they are endless. Stay strong to who you are and never give up fighting. It will be all worth it in the end, I promise. Just another update on all this stuff, guys. I wrote this piece as I got done with the book, and I finished the book back in March of 2017, and I'm recording this in October of 2017, so a couple months have passed since the book has been done, and I want to emphasize that some days are better than others, because some days I am happy-go-lucky. I can get up and I can go and I can be a great person and a great member of society and laugh and smile and have a good time. And some days all I want to do is sit in my room and not talk to anybody and block everybody out. So like I said, some days are better than others, but for the most part I'm still losing weight and I am still regaining my self-confidence and everything back, and it's a process and it's going to get better in time. Everything is a process, but I would like to expand on this and just say that everything has been getting better. um, I'm starting to finally figure out what I want to do in my life, and I'm starting to make those things happen, and as long as I keep staying true to myself, I'm going to make something of it, and I'm going to make something of myself. And so I'm gonna be something in this life, and if this is the start of something big, then this is the start of something big. I truly enjoy this writing, and I truly enjoy everything that I put down on paper for this book, and I enjoy all of you that said that you would be interested in reading it and listening to it. So this is it. This is the book. Please let me know what you guys think and get back to me on that. I love you all. Thank you for taking the time to read this. It truly means a lot to me. Thank you again, and you guys mean the world to me.